Hello and welcome to Astoria Film Festival Spotlight. This week we're speaking with Jason Coombs, creator and star of Shaw, the web series, which won both Best Actor and Best Web Series at our Astoria Film Festival in 2019.
Shaw? Shaw. Shaw.
Why didn't you call me sooner?
Nah, he's fine. Maybe we just probably shouldn't have 5 shots for $10 again. Buddy. Ah. Fuck, dude! Oh.
I mean, I just thought I was watching television. You know, it didn't seem like an entry. It seemed like I'd happened upon a really great show, you know, and that's
Thank you.
Amazing.
I had such a great team, honestly. Like, I swear to God, our first day of shooting, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. It was a learning process. And I feel like, you know, by the last episode, which, you know, I felt comfortable directing, because the first couple, it was Carrie, my great, amazing Carrie, who saved my life so many times.
The reason you love Shaw is because Shaw has so much Jason in him, even with that, you know, odd characteristic that's not you at all.
Yeah.
Still, it's your heart that's coming through the work. So
thank you. And that's, you know, that's what I was trying to do. You know, I was trying to tell the story of this guy who's who's a mess, and, you know, who needs work, who's getting that figured out, you know. And I want to play somebody who is a little bit different than me. You know, I'm a mess in my own way. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not.
We all are. We all are.
We all have our stuff, right?
Viola, I mean, you've been doing wonderful things. You're just such a force and such a presence of energy. Like, you are a giant ball of beautiful energy from what I've experienced. And you're doing amazing work. So if you want to talk a little about that.
Yeah, you know, we started the Kabila in October 2017, and it was because you know, I needed that community that I had for so long. I used to be the director of operations for an acting school that ended up closing, and I know the actors come and, you know, they do a cold read, they get to work on their cold reading skills, and, you know, directors come. We've had like 3 or 4 different projects get made from people who've met in the Kabila. And we're like, oh, I want to work with you, or you're kind of cool, or I like the script. How can I help you make it? You know, so it's been that kind of awesomeness that I love and I appreciate, and that's what I want to continue doing. You know, I want to help people tell their stories, and I want to tell my own stories as well, because I feel like I have a voice and I have a very valid voice. But I also want to help other people share their stories. You know, that's what it's all about, right? It's like helping other people at the end of the day, at least for me, and I think that's also for you, Nina. Like, that's what you do. Like, all the nice things you're saying about me, it's like literally how I feel about you. That's what you're doing as well.
Thank you. I mean, that's what you know, that's the goal. It's I think I started very much with the idea of helping kids in the neighborhood find the filmmakers in the neighborhood. And then I realized the filmmakers needed support too. Just being able to do something that people appreciate. Like, that's all I ever wanted to do in life, right? Like,
of course.
So, yeah. And you've done a bunch of new projects too, right? I mean, tell us about those.
So after Shaw, after I did 6 episodes of Shaw, I felt like that was like 6 years I made of TV. But it wasn't. It was literally, it's like an hour. Like, it all comes up to like a little bit under an hour, I think. But it felt like so much because it was so much time. I produced a couple stuff with my friend Marco. I think I sent you a clip of The Duchess, which is kind of like horror, noir type film, which was really fun. It got into a couple festivals. And I met a really cool collaborator through the film festival, John Noel. We worked on a project last fall together that we've been editing, or he's been doing most of the work. I can't even like lie. He directed it. It was his script. But I loved it, and he and I decided to produce it together. So we produced it together, and I starred in it. And yeah, it's like a little horror thriller that's coming out soon. A film I've been working on since 2019 called The Morning After. It's like my follow-up to Shaw. You know, it's about a closeted son of a politician who ends up in a relationship with a gay Black man, and he has to decide, you know, is it worth it? Is this person that he's fallen in love with worth everything he has sacrificed.
If it makes you feel any better, my dad's a huge piece of shit too. I wish I had half your dauntlessness.
It's in you. When you least expect it, it'll be there, handsome.
I applied for the Queen's Art Fund grant to do a short film, and I wrote the short film because I read this article that was talking about Black love, right? And it was like, we don't see positive Black relationships, we don't see that as often as we should. And then I was thinking, like I'm a Black gay man, and I don't think I've ever seen like a Black gay couple have a relationship that's, I never seen a Pretty Woman with Black gay men. I've never, I never seen like a romantic Black gay movie before, and I was like, well, that's something I want to make. Just trying to use my voice to highlight the Black and brown LGBTQ plus experience in positive ways, in ways that show us as more than just the little side characters you may see here and there and stuff, because there's so many of us in so many different ways and so many examples of our beauty, that we need to see more of.
If you're trying to figure things out in your life and you see representation that's positive, you're more willing to embrace that part of you that you may have been told is not okay because of society.
Exactly.
Right? And so it's so important to have that.
It's so important.
How are you doing?
Today's a better day. It's been a really tough couple weeks. This conversation has been going on since,
Forever.
like forever, literally, like from the beginning of this country. And like, I know there's been change and there's been progress made, and I'm not erasing that or belittling the progress that has been made, but it's not enough.
No.
I think it's nice that people are finally saying enough is enough. This is not right. Everybody's demanding it.
It's been so long and so bad, and I never understood how anyone could deal with it. It's maddening. It's maddening.
Yeah, it is. Black people are used to tiptoeing in white spaces. It's been a thing that I've always had to do, and I think most Black people will say the same. As a Black man, to try to unpack things, situations where I didn't speak up. Things where I was just like, I guess that's just the way it is. And I'm looking back now, like, why didn't I? Like, why wasn't I the loudest voice in the room? Why was I so passive? Why was I just like, okay, that's what having white friends is going to be like sometimes. That's the way it's going to be sometimes. But like, why? So it's a lot of this kind of like mental thing of like, try not to blame myself for things and try to just like move forward and figure out how I can raise my voice now. You have to be teachable. You have to figure out, okay, thank you for telling me. I'm going to figure out why it's wrong. I'm not going to say that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to be the opposite of that because I love you and I support you. Like, I don't understand why it has to be a hard thing for people to figure out, like, why is it so hard to be a kind, empathetic person,
Well, that's why I don't think it's hard. I think people refuse to do it. And if they're not getting it, they're not going to want to get it. They don't want to get it. It's not like they're not confused. They're not uninformed. They're just not wanting to get it. And that's horrible. They're horrible people. That's the bottom line. Like, they're behaving horribly.
Talking to my friend, and he was like, "Oh, is things really going to change this time?" I'm like, "Yes, because we're demanding that they change this time." Like,
yes, it's up to us.
It is up to us. And I protested in Astoria this week, and I felt like this week was the first time I was seen as a Black person, like seen, because there's so many people who saw me, who saw me, and this is like my home now. This is my home, and it's been my home for so long, and so it's like nice. It's nice to see people in the streets. It's nice to see people are demanding and not backing down. We're not backing down.
No, not at all.
People are protesting peacefully. I was there. I was there in Harlem last weekend, and like that wasn't getting shown anywhere. It was just all about like looting and shooting and all that other stuff. Like, I was there for 7 hours, and there was nothing but people being kind and helpful and giving water and giving food. And if someone, like, we were on the West Side Highway and we were climbing over fucking gates and stuff, and I saw people, 5 people helped me over the gate because I couldn't get over there on my own. It was too hard. And 5 people helped I'm a big person, like, you know, like, it was, we were all there together, you know. And like, I wish that was shown. I just wish they were talking to the people, the protesters, you know, not just giving their political commentary while they're watching stuff happen, like actually giving a voice to people who are begging to be heard. As artists, you know, like, I love Nina Simone, you know, and her one of her biggest quote is like, artists' duties is to reflect the times. You know, we have to use our art for change, and art does change lives. You know, art does make things better. So that's what we have to do.
Well, also, I think what we were saying about how it's so hard to process what's going on right now, art helps do that. Art helps everybody do that. So
it's true. It's true. And like, you know, I don't want anyone to think I'm perfect. I've made plenty of mistakes. You know, I made plenty of mistakes. But I try my best to be better than I was yesterday. You know, that's all I can really say at the end of the day.
Couldn't everybody just have that as their goal? Like, how much better the world would be if A, you try to listen to what people are saying, and B, you try to be better than you were yesterday. Like, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
But
We're gonna get there.
We will get there. We will keep supporting people and putting forward their work and putting forward our own work and helping people. Anything else you want to add or promote, or, you know, before we wrap up, if anything I didn't ask about that you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I think we covered it. I mean, the only thing I'm gonna say is, you know, Black trans lives matters also. I want to make sure that's very clear in everything that I talk about as well. It's not my experience, but it's just as important.
Thank you so much for doing this. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. And thank you for just being you. You know, you've been such a important and positive and amazing person to get to know. I'm thankful for that.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Thank you for having me.